Speed versus precision, and there's talk that there's always a blend and a balance between speed and precision.
If you ain't first, you're last. You know what I'm talking about? That phrase is trademark, not to use that position to Ricky Bobby.
If you think about this, like, okay, in the industry, in the defensive industry, they say a good metric is, 5 yards, 8-inch circle. Okay. Draw and fire one shot in under 2.5 seconds. Okay. So if I know I can pull off a 1 second draw,
right,
and I can guarantee that I can get the hit.
Right. Under ideal conditions.
Under
on the
ideal
range,
conditions, yeah.
You probably can make that real world under 2.5 or under
Right.
2 second draw to first shot.
But what else do we got to think about with this, right? So
Right.
let's stay on the speed, right? So we talk about if I can go faster
Yep.
in a given, if I had 2.5 seconds, but I can only use up a second to get the gun on target and press a shot off.
Right.
I've got that 1.5 seconds.
Yep.
Okay, where do I get to use it? Do I get to use it at the beginning of the start of the, we'll say, time frame,
Right.
or is it at the end?
Right.
I don't know. It all depends on what's
Right.
going on.
Well, I mean, I think looking at the end, like as you're drawing, what's happening, and
Right.
how do I react to that?
Yeah.
I think that's where you can have the most usefulness in having that extra time deciding. Maybe the situation's changed. Maybe I don't need to shoot now. Maybe there's an additional threat. So,
Right.
I think that speed gives you that gap, right? But can we go too fast? I think is kind of the next piece of that. Like we've practiced this, we know we're this fast, but then is there too fast?
Right.
So,
Well, think about this. You've been in the classes with me. We've heard it in a bunch of different places. Heck, Navy SEALs have studied this down to the nth degree. Delta Force guys, MARSOC guys. I think pretty much all of the heavy hitters here have studied this, and they found that the fastest that you really want to be shooting is about 0.3 seconds.
between shots, shot to
Yeah.
shot, yes.
Right? 0.3 seconds
Right.
between shots. So, we've got
Roughly.
this draw to first shot thing, but okay, how fast is fast?
That's one component of speed is like
Yeah.
out of the holster to first shot. But then the next component is, and this is where we get in the competition world, right? Is the shot to shot speed. How fast can I put those shots
Right.
on a target?
1.8.
Awesome. But what you're starting to refer to is that we need the feedback loop from what's happening down there to tell us, do we shoot again?
Right.
Do we keep shooting? And if you're shooting too fast, you're not able to stay ahead of that. So
Or-
stuff's going to happen that you're not recognizing
Yeah.
until you've already pressed off another shot.
So what's happening is, here's the thing. Let's say we're talking a scenario. We're going to put a time frame on it. Okay. Scenario is going to be it's a 4-second time frame from
Okay.
start to finish. You've
Right.
got we're talking in the defensive world.
Right.
Right, we're not talking
Right.
about competition right now. Let's
Right.
talk about defensive. Okay, so if I knew that my scenario is going to be 4 seconds, okay, and let's say I'm doing 0.20 split
Well,
times on shots.
Yep.
Okay, in those 4 seconds, how many rounds can I send down range?
If you have the
lot.
capacity, like 20 plus rounds.
A lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
But here's the thing. If we look at where human reaction speed
Yep.
is measured in like quarter seconds,
Rough. Yeah.
and I'm doing 0.20,
You're under that. Well under.
I'm ahead of my reaction speed.
You're at it. Well, and it's not even just react. It's you have to realize it and stop yourself in that time, whatever that time frame is.
Right.
So you're running pretty much ahead of that.
Yeah, you're out driving your headlights is what some one guy
exactly.
told me, right?
Yeah,
You're just going the way
I've heard
too
that
fast.
described that way too.
You're continually tripping up the stairs, is one other guy
Right.
told me. But So let's put another time quotient in this. All right. So let's say it takes me 1.5 seconds to get the gun on target and start pressing shots.
Right.
Okay. And after the first 2 or 3 shots, let's say I've gotten 3 shots on target. Okay. So that's another 0.6 of a second. So now I'm at 2.1 seconds. Okay.
Right.
But after that third shot, the aggressor decides, I don't want to play anymore.
Yeah.
I'm done. Or he just, for some reason, becomes no longer a threat. I don't care how
Threat has stopped, whatever
right?
it is, right?
The threat ceases.
Yep.
But it's probably, and this has been proven, it's going to take me at least 3/4 to a second to a second and a half to realize that.
Yeah, I mean,
How many more shots am I putting on this?
right. Or at
Probably
least
5 or 6 more.
Yeah, at least a third of a second is going to be that feedback
Yeah.
loop minimum
So
for the,
you know,
and that's for someone that's kind of well trained. So the less training you've done, the less shooting you've done, and the less training you've done to react to stimulus, which we can talk about that more in a little bit, but the slower your reaction speed's going to be.
yeah, it's going to be slower to get into the fight.
Yep, and then slower to get out of it.
Probably slower to
Yes.
get out of it.
Exactly.
I don't remember where I got it from, but I remember it was a trainer. We were talking about, like the psychological reaction to getting in and getting out of a fight, and he said that typically it can take almost twice as long to realize that the fight has ceased and you need to get out of the fight
Yeah.
than it does to get into it.
Well, that tunnel vision takes over.
Yeah.
And you're focused on doing whatever action you think you need to do. And it's harder to stop that.
So that's kind of a long way of saying,
Yeah.
if you are pushing for speed,
Yeah.
especially in a defensive context,
Yep. There's nothing wrong with that.
But there is a speed limit,
But yeah, there is.
and it's going to be individual. It's
and,
going to be
and you can
different.
train that to become better at that recognition, but there is going to be a limit that you're going to reach. So
Yeah.
I think the other thing too is maybe we should stress, like, you can only go as fast as you can make good hits. Like, that's the other way
Right.
we can go too fast.
Yeah.
If we're not being accurate, which is going to be our second part of this, then you're going too fast. Bottom line.
They used to say you can't miss fast enough,
Can't miss fast enough, right?
right?
We hit nothing.
How can you react to the situation and, in essence, catch up?
Yeah. In theory, you're catching up. I mean, as Smith said, there's no timers and gunfights, right? There's not going to be a beep. So what is the go signal? What are you reacting to? You're going to be catching up to whatever that is.
Yeah.
How do you do that, though? What skills do you need? Awareness becomes part of that.
Yeah.
If you can recognize something isn't right or recognize that this is actually happening,
Right.
we're not necessarily drawn on the drawn gun, but you're getting ahead of the bad guy at that point.
Well, if you think about, like everybody, there's these furtive moments or movements.
Yeah,
right?
yep.
There's pre-assault indicators. There's
Yep.
assault imminent indicators. If people learn those,
We done a podcast on that? We should. If we haven't, we should.
oh my God, that's going to be like an 8-parter.
That'd be a good one. That'd be a good one.
But but if you really think about this, if you're paying attention and not, have the HUA syndrome, where this is over here, you're actually going to be seeing things as they develop, or
Right.
your curve is going to be very short.
Curve
You're
is
gonna be
shorter.
right behind,
Right,
right?
exactly.
So it's easier to catch up. But in reality, catching up basically means is you got to do less than the other guy.
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
You just can't do a lot of extra stuff.
Well,
If you see
how do
the
you
gun coming
How
out,
do you do that?
yeah,
Well, you got to
Well,
be
got to be efficient.
efficient, right?
Yeah, the big
that's-
word, efficient. The best
Right.
combination of speed and energy and everything.
Think about it. I mean, I think about the bad guy probably hasn't done a whole lot of training, although they do practice. But probably
believe they don't.
if you are dedicated and you've worked, accessing your gun, getting your gun out, and engaging. If you notice that guy is doing something weird, going for his gun, you have the advantage to start reacting now
yeah.
and not waiting, and you might be more efficient at doing it then
Yeah.
than he is. So you might be able
Maybe
to get
he's
out of it.
fumbling with a pocket. He's fumbling
Right.
with a shirt. The gun is stuck in his waistband.
That's your opportunity, right? Yeah,
and
exactly.
Here you get your slick 3,450 model,
And you're out. Yeah.
and that gun's coming
Right.
out, right?
Now, if he's standing here with a gun pointing at you, you're already lost. You're
done.
behind, right?
You're done.
You got to wait for an opportunity then,
Yeah.
which also could be a whole
create
nother,
one.
or create one if you're right.
You've got the drop on me. You'll get a hoot out of this.
Come on, Earl, just pick one real quick. You know how I like magic.
Is this your card?
Now, you see, that was worth it, wasn't it? That was kind of good.
Pretty good.
That was... You just...
If you know what you're doing, you might be able to create something.
So that's another factor that's going to help you seem fast is tactics.
Tactics, right? Well, if you're in a fair fight, your tactics suck.
Yeah, we've heard
Period.
that, right?
That's it.
So I've heard this saying, and we were actually talking about this before the podcast, and this would be a good segment to throw this into. I was taught a long time ago, because if you look at action and reaction, okay,
Right.
my reaction is going to be based on the bad guy's action. So in essence, the bad guy gets to go first.
Yeah,
Okay, I have to catch up.
exactly.
So we've been kind of throwing you little ideas on this.
The thing is, what's the saying, right? We all hear slow is smooth,
Yeah.
right? Smooth is fast.
Slow, smooth is fast. That's it.
Yeah.
They're wrong,
Slow is slow.
right?
Smooth is smooth.
Smooth,
Right?
yeah, smooth is smooth.
And?
Fast is fast.
Right.
The nuance becomes, in order to be fast, you have to be smooth.
To be smooth.
And I think that's what they were always trying to say. But
Yeah.
it became like slow is smooth
Yeah.
and smooth is fast, and we'll just go slow to be fast. I'm like, what? No.
There was
it doesn't work that way.
There was a trainer out there. I'm drawing a blank on his name, but I saw he had it on the back of his shirt. And it started, the saying, it said, slow is smooth, and it cut off, and it just said, shh, stop talking.
Yeah.
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 In essence, what you're trying to find is efficiency. Okay?
Yes.
And efficiency is basically defined as the least amount of energy and effort expended in the time you've been given.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So if I said 2.5 seconds, and you get somebody who's doing the handgun holster draw Macarena, they're wasting energy and time
Time, right.
compared to the guy who just stands there and watches them start all their dance moves.
Yep. And
Trying
the
to
gun
get the
just
holster out of
comes
the
out.
gun, and all of a sudden the gun's in his hand.
And the
'cause he
gun's
just
right there.
Grabs the gun and it's out. or
Yeah.
Grabs the gun and it's out.
Yep.
He did less
Yeah, efficient.
in the time given.
Efficient. Right.
So, guys, that's kind of a lot of the solutions on how to be faster is just do less.
Yeah. So it's practicing that efficiency, learning how to be efficient with
Learning
your
how to
draw.
be fast. And, there's,
Yep.
there's a lot of ways to do that. All right. So we've spent a little bit of time talking about fast. Okay.
Yeah. The speed part. Yep.
Okay? Get on the gas, on the gas.
Yep.
But the other part of this is, okay, now number one, this is kind of interesting. It's not the first shot that's going to win the fight.
It's the most accurate, first accurate shot. Yeah.
It's the first accurate shot
first
or the
accurate
first
shot.
hit.
First good hit.
Yeah. We can drill it down into the
Shoot him in the thigh. I don't know.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. So.
But in reality, we can start with it's not the first shot, it's the first hit. But then it's got to be the first hit in a critical area,
Correct.
okay,
Yeah.
which is going to stop the fight. So, you can have somebody pumping 18 rounds into the air, and then you get the other guy who's like,
one good shot.
boom, that's all he needs.
That's right.
Right?
Exactly.
So precision is going to be important. A level of precision
Mm-hmm.
cannot be forgotten. So let's talk about this. Wait a minute. There's people look at this two different ways.
Okay.
Okay, precision and accuracy.
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference? Okay,
If we're talking precision versus accuracy, I think precision is being able to repeatedly put shots into a spot where you want them, the same spot.
okay,
Where accuracy is, I'm going to put shots generally where I need them to be,
okay,
not necessarily all in the same hole. So, I think of bullseye shooting when I think of precision. Like we're
Okay.
going to stand there and we're going to drill
so it's a repeatable skill.
holes in that X zone, right?
Okay,
Center of target, boom, boom, boom. Where accuracy, like, okay, I have the 8-inch circle and I can reliably put, all my rounds in that 8-inch circle at whatever speed you think you need.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of my take on it.
Yeah. To me, accuracy is pretty much like group size.
Yeah, right.
You were
yeah.
kind of leading up
I
to
think
it,
we're
like,
getting there. Yeah, exactly.
If I was given a 3x3 Post-it note and you told me I had to hit it at 10 yards, I'm going to be precise in my aiming
Yep. Yeah.
to get the accuracy that I want.
the accuracy that
right?
you want. Right.
And so shot placement. But in this, people will blend the two, even though there's some difference.
There's some difference.
Right? But if we really, think about, here's one here's a drill that I learned a long time ago. We do a lot. It's, people call it 2 to the body, 1 to the head, or you have 2 different, I guess you could say, expected accuracy components.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe an 8-inch circle and then a 3-inch circle.
Right. And
Okay?
you're trying to put
But
points
this,
around them.
this really, people will call it, well, the Mozambique is, like a pretty wider one, but it's basically a failure to stop,
Better stop. Right.
right? And you put 2 in the center of mass,
Yep.
and because for some reason that's not working,
You do
you go to a higher aiming area,
a more precise
and you
shot.
somewhere up here. But if you really think about it, that's a drill that combines speed and precision,
You have both. Right.
right? Because
Yep.
if I'm at 5 yards and I've got a, let's say it's a hand spread about 7, 8
Yep.
inch, okay, I can go fairly quick.
2 shots. Boom. Boom. Right.
Yeah.
Pretty quick.
But if I had to go for maybe a 1.5 inch by 3 inch rectangle in a higher aiming zone or a 3-inch circle, you're going to slow it down.
You're gonna have to slow down.
Oh yeah, you're gonna definitely have to slow it down.
Yep.
I know guys that their skills are good enough. They can just go. They can literally go pop, 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 and it's
Sure,
there. But
yeah.
there is a small, distinct difference.
There is a slowdown. There is a yeah. Yep.
They're not going boom, boom, boom.
Mm-hmm.
If that first shot is somewhat effective,
Yep.
follow-up shots get. You don't have to go. You have to go fast now. You can stay in the precision balance,
Right.
right?
Right.
Because then you can, let's say the first shot is enough to slow the attacker down and there's still a threat, but they're just not operating at the speed they started.
Yeah. You've given yourself a little bit more time.
So now you can okay, now do I have to continue shooting? Can I
Right.
can I disengage?
Yep.
Or do I have to make a more accurate shot?
Right. To stop this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
So there's a lot of ways you can balance this.
So I think too, precision allows you to overcome like a tougher shot.
It could.
They're using cover, they're wearing armor, so it's kind of the same thing we're talking about, but in context, like why do I need to be more accurate? Well, your center of mass may not be that big.
Yeah.
It may not be the 8-inch circle. It might only be
Right.
a portion of the bad guy or what you can
let's
see.
Let's say 2 seconds ago my target availability was this big,
Right.
and now he's hiding behind this concrete pillar, and he's peeking out a little bit, and
Yeah.
all I've got is now this much,
That's just changed everything, right?
right?
Yeah.
This is all I've got to shoot now.
That's a more precise shot. So yeah.
Yeah. So I've got to bring the precision online and
Yep.
slow the speed down and take that off. One of the other things that I think is really interesting, and I love doing this drill. I learned a long time ago, and then one of my good friends and trainer, Ed Monk, uses it in his active shooter instructor course.
Okay.
And he basically it's knowing at what distance and what speed you can guarantee a shot.
Okay.
Okay, and he does it like on different size targets. When I was first exposed to this, it was on a 3-inch circle.
Okay. So you're going to work close to far and see
yeah.
where it breaks down. Right.
Oh yeah, and the last time you got it under the certain time frame was
That's
that
your
was
effective.
guarantee.
That's it. Guaranteed
Yep.
to that distance only.
So of course you start out at 3 because you're going to give the ego a little stroke.
yeah, give a little
Right.
confidence.
And then let's say I said you have 2 seconds to put one shot into that 3-inch circle.
Right.
Well, at 3 yards, you're probably going to achieve it.
Right.
5 yards, probably going to do it.
Okay.
You get out to 7,
Might be
I
pushing
think
for some people,
you're-
right.
You might get that first one in 1.2 seconds.
Okay.
Right. The second distance at 5, you might get a 1.5 seconds or a little bit higher. at the third distance at 7 yards, you might be pushing that 2-second time limit.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. There are some shooters, I've seen them, I've worked with them, that will be able to do it, draw a bump, they get it, done.
Right.
Because their skills are so consistent. But when you get out to 10 yards, you can see them start to go, okay,
Yep.
I'm up near the top of that time limit.
Sure.
I've seen places where they give you 3 seconds and you're going out to 25 yards
Yeah. So you're really pushing the skill there.
or more. Some of them give you 5 seconds to get one hit on a 3-inch circle at 25 yards.
Okay.
Oh, and they don't let you adjust the dot back and forth as you move out. So you've really got to be good.
Right.
Okay. But knowing that effective distance, like how far away can I guarantee that I can get a hit on whatever the thing is that I'm shooting at?
And then at that point.
You have to know.
Yeah.
If you've got to, let's say you've got to save a life and you're hoping you're going to make that 10-yard shot on a target that's maybe about this big, because that's all you've got,
Yeah.
and you miss,
Yeah.
you've just risked somebody else's life.
For sure. Accountable for every round.
Oh, yeah. On the target range, I got to miss. But in real life,
the real world,
something got hit.
Not good.
Yeah, you own it. So how do we solve all this?
Well, training.
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 It's almost like a plug for a training organization.
Yeah, right?
But in reality, training. And you can train for both.
Yeah, you should train for both.
There's a big component in the USCCA defensive pistol program on the
Okay.
balancing speed and precision, where they
Right.
really work that, and it's pretty good. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
We've done days of balancing speed and precision with our handgun master group,
Yeah, every year there's yeah.
and they get really exposed to a lot of really good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We're this past one we had them shooting on 1-inch squares.
That's right. Yep,
Okay.
working the precision part.
And working the precision, and then we open them up a little bit, and they go a little faster.
Yep.
And then we give them an 8-inch circle, and they're like, "Oh my God!"
Wow, this is
like
easy.
the world opened
yeah,
up.
Yeah,
Right?
but it's putting drills like that together, combining it with a shot timer.
Yep.
That is one way to work on speed, and it's a measurable way. You can measure
Yeah.
progress doing that.
Shot timers don't lie.
The other thing I like, and I'm kind of looking forward to John Holshin coming,
Yeah.
because he has that system, his neuro system,
Oh.
that gives you a different perspective, because it's not a sound, which is mostly what we use for our go signal on the range.
Yeah,
it's a
visual
visual,
stimulus,
which mimics more like real life, because the bad guy, more than likely, the stimulus is going to be a visual stimulus.
Oh yeah.
So you can train to the real world that way with that system. Combine that with some shot timer work. That's,
I remember the first time I got exposed to that, and
Yeah, me too.
He just said, "Okay, watch the target, look for the lights," and I'm standing there, and I'm seeing the lights, and everybody else is shooting, and I'm looking at the lights.
what am I supposed to be doing?
And I totally forgot that I was
Yeah.
supposed to shoot on one of the lights and not shoot on the other
Right.
one, and then
And you can do
address
different
it on the-
combinations. Yeah,
Oh my
it's-
God.
it's crazy.
Like
Yep.
the first time, I was just like, "Wait a minute,
That's what I'm supposed to do. Yeah.
time to go."
Yeah.
So that was an eye opener. It was interesting.
But that's a different way to train, not just for the speed of getting the shots, but the speed of being able to stop shooting.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the big differences. We have a lot of drills we use, like with our masters group, for work on speed.
And it could be as simple as, you have a buddy, you buy a red and green laser.
Yeah,
okay?
that could work.
And you have a shooting buddy, and you say, "Okay, what am I going to do?" Okay, the green is start shooting,
Right. Red
and
is
the red
stop.
is stop shooting, or vice versa.
Or mix it up. Yeah, mix it up.
Because we're used to green is go.
Yeah,
So
so
let's screw the
Green is
synapses
stop.
up here.
Yeah, green is stop.
Green is don't shoot.
Yep.
He's a good guy,
Yep.
right? And red is that's a threat.
Right.
Okay, red is bad. And you just have your buddy stand behind you off to the side, and you got
Yep.
a couple targets, and just light up one of them, light up both,
Yeah. Hmm.
do whatever, and you have to react. You're not going to get a lot of the data that the neural system collects, but you're going to start
No.
training yourself to react to stuff a little faster.
But you're getting that reaction.
Yeah.
Exactly. No, the neuro will actually tell you, like, when you're supposed to stop shooting, how many shots and how long
Yeah.
was it after you were supposed to stop? So
Hey, gang,
it
I'm
really
gonna-
gets in your head.
I'm going to put a plug out there.
Yep.
You're going to want to look up John Holshin. He operates out of the West Coast Armory north of Seattle.
Yep.
In Washington State, and he's got applied defensive handgun skills.
Yes.
Okay, that's his course, and that's what uses the neuro. If you can find where he's training, get to a course from him. He is personally one of my mentors, one of the guys that taught me so much about diagnostics of shooting and shooting. This guy's a wealth of knowledge, and this class is kind of the newest evolution here. This is the front of the wave here.
Yeah, it is.
You will be missing out on an awesome training opportunity if you can't get to this class.
Yep.
And I know some other trainers are starting to pick up the neurosystems and they're starting to use them. So,
Cool.
start looking for that.
That's really cool.
But in reality,
Yep.
let's think about this. If we wanted to train for speed,
Yep.
go buy a timer.
Yep.
You can download an app on your phone.
There's a,
Okay.
yeah.
But use a timer and then start measuring that. But don't make that your only metric.
Even things like the Mantis Laser Academy has
Yeah.
speed drills in it.
They do.
So yeah. Yep.
But if you can start working the efficiency on that, and here's the other trick: you may not know how to go faster on your own.
Right. That's where training comes in.
And we tell that all the time, not because we're educators, but I know the value of training because we were students before we became educators. We're still students
Right.
now.
Yeah.
There is no substitute for training with a professional instructor who knows what they're doing in this realm of training.
Yep. Agreed.
If you find somebody and they're just teaching you target shooting, great. You're going to get good at precision.
Right.
You're going to get good at the fundamentals. You're going to get good at being repeated accuracy. Okay? But you need to find a defensive instructor who can teach you how to work the holster fast, how to get out, how to get on target.
Be more
fast, how to-
efficient. Right.
Yeah.
Analyze what you're doing and
Right.
figure it out.
You're going to want the person that can look at you and go, okay, stop doing that, do this, and change this.
Yep.
Okay?
Exactly.
You need somebody with a lot of reps watching people. You need somebody with a lot of reps being able to diagnose and relay that info to you in a manner that works.
Yep.
And that will make you more efficient. And that will make you smooth,
Yeah.
which will then
And
make you fast.
faster. Right. Exactly.
Okay? So
What about precision? How do we train that?
how do you train precision? Oh, I love doing this stuff. Here's how I learned how to do it. I still use it.
Yep.
I start with whatever size target I want to start out with. I shoot on that. If I start getting really good groups on it, let's say I'm starting with a 3-inch circle,
Yep.
okay, and I'm getting them all on the 3-inch circle. I'm going to go buy 2.5-inch circles.
Make the target smaller.
I'm going to make the target smaller.
Yep.
That's if I can't change the distance.
Well, that's the other thing. So there's a couple different ways. Change the distance.
Yep.
Make the target smaller.
Yeah.
So there's a couple different ways to challenge yourself. Or, well, you can also combine that with one other thing. Both of those with
Yeah.
making, if you want to work balance now, lower the time frame.
Yeah.
So see if you can set that second beep on that timer, and am I getting the shots off before that second beep? And I'm doing it precisely.
Right.
And what distance?
So let's say I wanted to do 5 rounds on a 3-inch target.
Right.
Okay? Let's say I'm going to be at 5 feet or
Okay.
5 yards.
5 yards.
Okay.
Yep.
5 rounds, 3-inch target, and I give myself 5 seconds.
Okay.
Why not? Right.
Sure.
Okay. So, draw fire 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I write the time down.
Yep.
And if I'm consistently getting a good group and I'm consistently staying under the time hack that I started
Yep.
with, well, guess what? Maybe you cut that time in half if you're
Right. And
doing
see
really
what you
well.
can do. Right. Exactly.
Or do you go from 5 yards to 7 yards?
Step back to 7. Right.
So in effect, what did the distance do? It changed the ballistics a little bit. Not
Yep.
much.
Made the target smaller.
At 5 and 7 yards, a bullet's still being thrown through the air. It's
Yeah,
not really
it's
flying
not-
yet.
there's no
right?
difference.
But there is some accuracy in there.
Yep.
Okay, you ballistic nerd, don't get all on me about this. Okay. But I made the target smaller.
Effectively
visually,
made it visually smaller.
Okay.
Right.
But in reality, if I'm shooting a 9mm bullet at it, it's going to make a hole about that size on a 3-inch target. So I didn't really shrink the target.
No.
I just made it appear smaller
Yep.
where I have to work a little bit, right?
Yep.
So I go back to 7 yards and I use the same time frame.
Right. Don't change the time frame.
When I get good groups and when I
Yep.
stay under the time frame, maybe I'll go to 10 yards.
Right. And keep
So I
pushing.
can
back.
change the distance until I
Yep.
get to where I get frustrated and it's not working. Now I know where I need to put the work in.
Right.
Or I can stay at 5 yards
Yep.
and I can go 3, 2, 1 inch.
Right. Just keep working it smaller and smaller.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or I can stay at 3 inches and go, well, I gave myself 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Let's give myself 2.5 seconds.
Yeah. Those are all good
And
strategies.
then get on it, boom, 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 really get going. And
Absolutely.
then maybe I drop it to 2 seconds.
Right.
Maybe, I always lower the time. Again, time, distance, target size.
Yeah. Change
Okay.
1, 2.
There is another thing you could do. You can change the environment a little bit. Or you can change what the target does.
Right.
It could be moving.
That's a whole different podcast. That's a whole nother podcast.
Okay. You can dim the lights.
You're right.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
If you really want to, obviously when you're working by yourself, you're going to want to put the timer on random mode so it starts
yeah.
not when you expect it to.
Which,
But here's the other way you can randomize it. You can have a training partner
right. And they give you
do it
the
because
go.
their timing is going to be off compared
Right.
to yours, and your training partner is going to mess with you.
Yep,
So
exactly.
they're going to try to get you going. But there's a few ways you can do that. Where you can train to find that good balance of speed and precision.
Speed and precision. Yep.
Right?
Sounds
So,
good.
I don't know, gang. If you've got some ideas, I'm going to ask you guys, what's your favorite drill that can balance speed and precision?
Yeah. Let us know.
There's a bunch of them out there.
Yeah, let us
we
know.
talked about 1 or 2 of them. So give us, you can give us the name. We'll look it up. Or if you type it up, if you can
Yeah.
put it in the comments, if it's a short drill.
Let us
It
know.
shouldn't be a long drill. It doesn't have to be.
Doesn't have to be.
We're talking maybe under 10 rounds.
Yep.
Okay. Matt, anything else?
No, I think that's
There it
good.
is.
I think that's a lot of food for thought for our audience. So
I hope so.
yeah, definitely put your comments below.
Yeah.
I'd like to hear them. Your thoughts on
I don't know.
the balance of speed and precision.
Yeah, I guess if we could say it's like go as fast as you can, but make sure you get your hits.
Gotta get your hit. Absolutely.
Guys,
All right.
some things we need you to do.
Yep.
Number 1, like the video.
Like the video.
Okay.
Yep.
Subscribe.
Yep.
So you get all these updates and everything.
Yep.
And Matt,
We're gonna mash. What button?
what button we got to mash?
What button?
The
Come on.
notification button.
Notifications. So you get told every time we put out
Yep.
one of these videos. Oh, and share it too.
Yeah.
Sharing helps as well.
Yeah,
It's
post
nice
it out to your
it's nice to share.
circle. It's nice to share.
It's nice to share.
And it's always fun to share 2 guys talking about gun stuff.
Woohoo!
All right. See you next
Thanks,
time.
everybody.